welcome to a review of the Ultimate Doom for the PC. This game is definitely revolutionary, and we will see why in a second. Released in 1993 by id Software, Doom is one classic example of what a revolutionary shooter is. It was originally released under a shareware model, meaning that you can download the first episode of the game for free and then purchase the later episodes at another time. The shareware version of Doom can still be found online, and I've put a link in the description. Originally, however, Doom came with 3 episodes. However, the Ultimate Doom added a 4th episode named Thy Flesh Consumed. Previously, id Software released Wolfenstein 3D through Apogee, and that game was really what kicked off the first-person shooter market. However, Doom completely revolutionized the first-person shooter genre in a way that no other game had done before. Now as for a backstory, you are a Marine who is sent to Mars after assaulting your commanding officer and killing countless civilians. Upon getting to Mars, all hell breaks loose and you are sent to Phobos to prevent the enemies from getting to Earth. The story is advanced throughout the game by text boxes after an episode is completed. Now all that information that I just told you about the backstory, I can only find in the manual. Meaning, of course, that there really is no story. The story is not important for you to be able to play this game. And that is definitely one thing that is great. Now the gameplay is nothing short of awesome. As with other shooters of the time period, you basically go around and find keys to unlock doors and finish a level. There are also secrets hidden in each level that you can find, and I always find something new every time that I play. Of course, the enemies get larger in difficulty as you go up difficulty levels. These difficulty levels range from I'm too young to die to Nightmare. This style of gameplay was revolutionary for the time period, and as a result several quote-unquote Doom clones appeared on the market which used the same style of gameplay. The graphics in this game are a major improvement over Wolfenstein 3D. That is, in the MS-DOS version, of course. Since this game was so popular back in the day, it was ported to nearly every console that the developers thought could handle it. This includes the Sega 32X and the Super Nintendo. These console ports were often of shoddy quality though, so I recommend the PC version by a long shot. I have not had a chance to play either the Super Nintendo or the Sega 32X versions, however I had a GBA card for Doom at one point, and the graphics were definitely not nearly as good as the PC. In addition to great graphics, however, Doom is a kick-ass soundtrack that will keep you hooked for hours. I'm sorry if that is not shown well enough in my review though, as the sound was way off when it was being recorded through the capture device, and on my TV. Now again, the 4th episode is only sold in the Ultimate Doom and later releases. This episode contains entirely fan-made levels and is very tough, although they are definitely not as tough as the cyber demons in the shores of hell. If you were wondering about cheating, there are 2 main cheat codes that I know of. These are IDDQD for invincibility, and IDKFA for all weapons, full ammo, and all of the keys at a level. I only get to cheat against the cyber demon though, as the cyber demon is a pain to the point where I was playing it for 5 hours and eventually just typed in the code. Now keep in mind, I absolutely hate cheating in video games, and every once in a while it is definitely required. Now for such a great game, you know there will always be several re-releases. I have the Doom Collector's Edition, however I will wait to cover that one in a separate video as it has a host of its own problems. Since the game was written for DOS, you will need to play it in DOSBox, play it on a PC running an earlier version of Windows, or you can use one of the several engines that have been made for it. I recommend the ZDoom and GZDoom engines, however if you are looking for the multiplayer, you will want to use ZDaemon or Chocolate Doom. There are countless amounts of other engines for Doom, but a majority of them alter the game in some way, so I do not feel they give a truly original experience. Now the reason why these engines exist is that id Software made the source code for Doom free on GitHub, so anybody can make a level or modify the engine by their content. Another important thing about Doom is the amount of levels of great and shoddy quality available for it. It is very easy to make levels for Doom, so they can be found nearly everywhere online. As a result, there were lots of unofficial expansion packs and front ends for Doom that were released. An example of this is the D-Zone series, which I will cover each individually at a later time. Basically, these packs came with hundreds of levels, utilities, and other good stuff for Doom. The only issue with the front end that the D-Zone packs provide is that it is made in Borland Pascal, which means that you will have to apply a patch to get it to run on anything with more than a 200 MHz processor. If you have seen my Jackrabbit Holiday Hair review, you will know that the patch can sometimes be a pain to apply. However, I will place a link in the description for you to download the patch. Since Doom was released via the popular shareware download method, you can still download the first episode for free off the internet. I will put a link for that in the description. Unfortunately, it can be hard to acquire Doom or Ultimate Doom in a physical copy nowadays. However, Ultimate Doom is $4.99 on Steam as of the recording of this review, and it comes down with DOSBox as its front end. It's a 12 megabyte download and it was well worth it. So, do I recommend it? I most definitely do recommend Doom. And I recommend it to anyone who has ever played a first-person shooter, even to young children who play modern video games. Everyone needs to know what really spawned the first-person shooter genre, just as they deserve to know the history of modern and classical video games. This game is a classic example of one of those that keeps me coming back and will hook me in for hours. I cannot recommend this game enough, so at least go out and run the first episode. Did you like this video? If you did and you would like to see notification of new videos, please subscribe to my channel. In addition, if you would like to communicate with me and my fans, check out my Facebook page that is linked in the description. If you would like to help keep the show going, considering supporting my show on Patreon would be very nice. I have provided a link to my Patreon page in the page as well. Patreon users get their videos 2 days earlier than everyone else does, as well as other perks such as access to my social feed. Every little bit of donation helps keep the show going, as equipment and other things occasionally have to be replaced. Thanks again for watching, and have